Oh yeah, so I also remember like a lot of y'all are like new to the whole Garfy experience. So let me give you a quick run through of my backstory. I was a real freaky baby. I was hitting all my milestones mad early and saying ominous shit. My parents were concerned, but I've learned a lot about their past, which is none of y'all's fucking business. And so I'm willing to give them a lot more grace than I did um, prior to this. But I pretty much was kind of like grooving. All my basic needs were met. Um, Emotionally, I had to work that shit out. Just had to work that shit out. And I spent a lot of time alone. And I realized not out of like, well, there's always like this longing that's like very human, right? But like, I realized a lot of the people around me were just kind of like bullying me or like not really getting the picture. Or I also realized that there's some like aspect of like this prophecy that it doesn't really matter if I believe in it, because quite frankly, I don't know all the notes to the fucking prophecy. But there are a lot of people and a lot of secret organizations who fuck with the prophecy heavy, and I just so happen to be hitting a lot of notes with the prophecy, with like my birthday and like the things I do and the places I go and my interests and all that other stuff. But there's also bitches who want to be the chosen one real bad, so they be like faking the prophecy or whatever. And so I would encounter people who were like aware of my abilities, which now I've learned is like high level chaos magic, which is more so about being able to make complex thought forms, astral projection, which was kind of indoctrinated onto me when I like through the gate program in my school system, which I learned about later in life through TikTok. But I have the ability to actually travel and communicate and do telepathy and really affect things on like the higher levels of the tree of life and like bring them down like very gracefully. I be zigzagging all up and down that whole bitch. And I'm just learning that there are people who like study this their whole lives to be able to do what I do. And like a lot of people have to join organizations that make them do really suspicious shit that involves a lot of like I can't spell, but a lot involves them doing a lot of like horrid things to other people in order to get power. It kind of reminds me of like Monsters Inc. Like people kind of harvesting screams, not realizing that laughter goes a lot farther. But in all this time, it's not like I'm just like it was magically brought to me. All my dreams coming true. There's a little dandelion. I've been studying laughter meditation through Laraji, and been really working on mindfulness a lot through like therapy, a lot of stuff from a very young age. Like it was very important to me to. Remember being like 12 and thinking I gotta get more authentic. Which is crazy. My wishes won't come true. They keep getting stuck on me, bro. But like I said, there's people in organizations who are like kind of fixated on me. So I found especially like around when I was like 13 or so, um, people were entering my life who had a vested interest in harvesting this. Like, this guy really wants to take a fucking picture of this goddamn trolley. Allegedly, I'm paranoid, but I wasn't really why I saw all this stuff until it had impacted over a while. Like I was giving a lot of spiritual advice and just chill guy advice and having fun with a lot of people, and a lot of these people were a little bit narcissistic and stuff. Also finding out later in life that some of them were, practitioners as well. And so by the time I was in my 30s, I was exhausted, um, just chronically drained from all of the output. There's a lot of like chronic stress that got to me. I was really not able to really function well. I got a PTSD diagnosis, um, and then it really cleared up a lot about like how to navigate the care for myself at that point. Really seeing myself as neurodivergent, ADHD, bipolar, and I keep racking up more and more. Generalized anxiety disorder, but the PTSD diagnosis gave me a lot of good tools to take care of myself. Oh shit, your legs in my shit, man. But then, um, right after, my mom had a stroke, and it was like I also had fibroids, which I feel is like a 3D projection of people trying to limit my creativity and blocking my sacral chakra. So I was like really sick, and then I was having mobility issues, and then there was like this weird smear campaign that came about from a lot of like jealous individuals in my life, and they're like, it basically just got to like everybody around me, and I felt like I had no one in my corner. I probably had more people in my corner than I was willing to realize, but it's just rough, man, you know? And then I started to notice that like people were coming into my dead end street and like circling in, and my cars, the tire kept getting like punctured and stuff, and there was like weird stuff happening. I think I accidentally peeped a trafficking ring, and so they tried to pin that on me. I saw like a little girl with her like suitcase in the bottom step of my apartment complex, and I'm asking for help, and I'm like trying to figure out how to do this, you know, strategically, and everyone's calling me crazy. And I'm like, all right, if all you're gonna do is call me crazy and try to get me locked up, I had my surgery, they were being transphobic about that. I say they, but it was only a couple of individuals, you know. So I just left, like a thief in the fucking night. And then when I left, I went to another city, and in that city, it was similar bullshit because some people picked up on the smear campaign. Some people were lovingly obsessed with me, and it got a little crazy. And then some people didn't know what the fuck I had going on, just noticed I was suspicious and super powerful. And like, cause in all of this nonsense, I was also teaching myself how to better invest in my magical practices. So I was just leveling up in my room because it was a bunch of narcissists. So when I stopped like making noise, they left me alone, and I just hit the fucking books. And I was dealing with a lot of warlocks who had similar power, and I was just using that power to freaking nasty style, which is like, I don't want to say it's a waste because it's very cool, but like there's like there's so many more applications for it that I'm learning now that have made my life a lot easier. But the problem is I kind of reached it at a point where there was a breaking point, and I didn't really have any support. So I've been like dealing with homelessness because, you know, the threats were getting like out of control. So I'm just like this super powered homeless bitch just running up in people's towns and stuff. And I'm online, and I'm also mentally ill because in all the upset, like I had a full hysterectomy. So I was like going through menopause. I had trauma when I was recovering and stuff. So I was on some like crazy healer stuff. I'd done a stint in the woods and stuff. And in the meantime, I was getting pulled in some weird trafficking shit myself. I'm like, who the fuck is doing this? I was just pointing fingers. And I've just been on this magical journey to, one, heal myself, two, keep myself safe, three, figure out what the hell is going on, and four, try to get a little boo thing in. Because the worst part of all this shit is a lot of these people, I didn't even do anything. They just mad that I got a little boo thing that ain't them, which is crazy. Because I've got a lot of love to give. My cat is fat. There's enough to going, right? Please stop. But like, yeah, that's like the long story short of my drama. But definitely more details, and as I post on this days, that might help to make a little bit more sense. But a lot of it was kind of like pointing fingers and trying to like strategically get more information. And so I don't know, you gotta take what I say with a grain of salt, because I never said I was coming on here to be a good person and tell the truth. I'm just coming here to get what I fucking deserve, you know, type shit. And that's on period, bitch.